which is something my parents always told me. Every time I came over to her house, my mom would say, you know, Paul, why do you make me do these things? Because I would go into her kitchen, I would rummage through the refrigerator, tell her how to cook things, and she would always say, Paul, you never got sick from these things when you were a kid. Why do you make me do these things now? Well, my argument will always be, well, how do you know, Mom? How do you know you didn't get me sick from these things? A lot of the things they talk about in that ServSafe course, the symptoms of all these foodborne illnesses that we speak of, guys, they're all the same. Foodborne illnesses are flu-like symptoms. That's the way you're going to see it. How would you know if you had these things unless you get them diagnosed by a doctor? And how many of us here go to a doctor every single time we're sick? It's not going to happen. So the 76 million, guys, it's a quarter of the population. Now, of that, over 325,000 have to be hospitalized because of foodborne illnesses. And of that number, over 5,000 people die. 5,000 people die every year in this country from a foodborne illness. You know, I got to admit, when I first heard that number myself, I thought to myself, it seems kind of high. Come on, man, we're the United States. We're doing everything we can as far as food safety goes. We're probably right up there with all the other countries as providing food safely to our customers. But see, that is the problem right there. Because 15%, not even 15% of that 76 million people who get sick, they're getting sick when they go out to your places, guys. The other 85% are getting sick from what they're doing at home. That's why I think anybody should be taking classes like this. It's important. All right. A few things that are going to be in the chapter 24 New Jersey Code here I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about right now about people at high risk. These people are more prone to these foodborne illnesses. And these are pretty obvious, guys. I think we all understand that children, elderly, people who are sick, people who are taking certain type of medications. They definitely have immunities that might be reduced somewhat, so they got to look out a little bit more. But one I really want to stick on is the pregnant woman, because I think everybody here can relate to that. When you see, let's imagine it, guys. Let's have a little scenario here. We have a pregnant woman coming into your restaurant. You know, third trimester, looking like she's going to go anytime now. She walks in the door, and you say to yourself, and it's just nature. You know, we think of them as being vulnerable. We want to look out for her. We're going to hold out the chair for her. Maybe we'll even cook the food a little differently for her. But what's the problem with that? I mean, think about this, guys. What about the woman that walks in your door that is pregnant but isn't noticeably pregnant? How do you know? It's not like you're asking every woman that comes in the door, oh, excuse me, ma'am, before you have to see you're pregnant. Obviously, not a good idea. You might get a smash across the face, as a matter of fact. So you're not going to do that. Not many customers that way. But you think about it, the woman in the third trimester, well, she's already gone through the hard part, right? She's got the 2 heartbeats beating in her. She has some type of immune system for the fetus. Guys, if a woman in her first trimester gets something like, I don't know, listeria, well, actually, either of them aren't going to be in good shape with that. But heck, with listeria, the woman in the first trimester, that fetus is in a lot of trouble. So what do? How do you handle this problem? I think everybody here can imagine this, right? A woman walking into your restaurant, not noticeably pregnant. How are you going to deal with her, guys? This is where I need a little volunteer here, folks, okay? We can do a little give and take if you want. What would you do, guys? How would you deal with this problem? Look, this does not require brain surgery or rocket science, guys. This is basic. How would you deal with it? Give me something. Anybody? Somebody? There we go, in the back.
If you implement regular procedures, then it wouldn't really affect anything that you have to do.
Exactly. What you're saying is you treat every single person the same exact way, correct? Which is safely. And then to me, highly susceptible population wouldn't even be an issue. You with me? Come on, guys. I need a little acknowledgement just to make sure you're not falling asleep on me here, okay? All right, great. All right, these are the people. Again, they got to look out for them a little bit more, but basically treat everybody safe anyway, and it wouldn't even be an issue. Okay, a few other things I'd like to talk about. The chapter 24, again, is what they're going to be implementing here in New Jersey. By the year 2010, everybody has to have one person per establishment who is certified. And we're going to talk about what you can do about that. We have some paperwork out there for you if you'd like. Okay, the people in charge. These are the people such as yourselves. Look, the people in charge. The bottom line, you've got to have the go-to guy who can answer the inspector's questions when you're there. If you're not there, and you have a bunch of kids working for you, guys, that could be a problem. You know how some kids might be? They'll look at each other and say, I don't know who's in charge. Make sure there's somebody there at all times who can answer the inspector's questions. They want the go-to guy. First thing, Robin, what's the first thing you ask when you walk in?
May I speak to a manager?
There we go. When I speak to a manager, somebody in charge, that's what they're looking for, guys. We want to have that go-to guy. All right. People in charge means the individual present at a retail food establishment who is responsible for the operation at the time of inspection, as I just mentioned. Supervision, the operator shall be the person in charge or shall designate a person in charge and shall ensure that the person is in charge. Make sure there is always that go-to guy, as it says. Okay, a few other things, guys. The supervision, the management, and personnel, again, based on the risk of the foodborne illness inherent to the food operation during inspections and upon request, the person in charge shall demonstrate the health authority knowledge. Look, this basically means your inspectors are going to start asking you some questions. They're going to pose some things to you already and say, okay, can you tell me what you got to cook that chicken to? Or how do you calibrate this thermometer? They're going to look out for these guys, and you need to know these answers for them. In most cases, guys, in a lot of jurisdictions, if you don't, that's critical. They will write you up. Make sure you know those answers.
That's now state law.
Statewide.
Yeah,
Good,
it's state
good.
law.
Okay, person in charge shall demonstrate the knowledge, as I just said, making sure they know it, and basically how they'll do it is just ask the questions to the inspectors. Okay, the supervision by passing the food safety safety exam. Again, the ServSafe exam is the one that's recognized in a lot of places. New Jersey, they will allow that one as well. We'll speak about that towards the end of this. Supervision, the certified food protection manager shall maintain the currency of the food safety certificate by following the accredited certification programs. These are the three, okay? The ServSafe is the one that we teach at Pastor Training. National Registry and Thompson for Metric are other courses that you can take as well for that. Okay, the personal cleanliness, guys. Let's talk a little something about